Welcome everybody. It looks still far away, tulip season, but it's already in full progress at the growers, at the bulb exporters, the bulb growers, and so on and so on. And a lot of things are happening at the moment, and that's why we have this Flower Circus talks. And I've got three absolute tulip specialists with me. We have Winfried Versluis, we have Mark-jan Terwindt, and Arjan Smit. Let's quickly do a small introduction.
Yes, I'm more than 30 years in the tulip business, doing a lot of business from the grower to every customer, and specialized in retail big orders and make a lot of long-term relations. And we do that a lot of years. And I do that 10 years for myself under the name of Flowers Connect.
Mark-jan?
Yes, hello there, everybody. Mark-jan Terwindt, General Director at Royal Anthos, the trade organization for the trading companies in flower bulbs and nursery stock. And therefore, we just had the harvest in, and therefore we can talk about flowers next season because we have some views on how that's going to be working out for everybody. So happy to contribute here to this program.
Yeah, thank you. And last but not least, Arjan.
Yeah, I'm Arjan Smit. I have a tulip company. We grow around 40 hectare in more different countries in Europe. And I'm chairman of Tulip Promotion of the Netherlands. We try to make promotion for our beautiful product.
Yeah. So after this introduction, let's quickly dive in. I hear a lot of rumors. I talk to a lot of people, and they say, this is the strangest season ever in tulip bulbs. What's happening? It's been very cold in Holland, and I hear there's not enough bulbs. Maybe Mark-jan, you can fill me in on that. What's happening?
Yes, glad to do so. We've seen that the planting has been very late. There were still in December, there were still bulbs being planted. So there was a very short growing season, and in the meantime it was extremely cold, and we had just one spell of rain, but it started in October and it stopped in April. So to get the bulbs out of the ground was quite of a predicament as well, especially in the more thick soils in the south of Netherlands. So and now the crops are in, so we can see both in quantity and quality what has come in tulip bulbs, and we do see that there is serious shortcomings in both sizes, qualities, and quantities. And everybody's now trying to deal with that in how to spread these all over the world to the different cut flower producers, landscaping companies, and companies who sell the flower bulbs to directly to consumers to be planted in gardens at people's homes. So that process is now in full swing.
Yeah.
And so yeah, it is tight. I don't know anybody who received all the bulbs that they thought they were going to have at their disposal.
Okay. Arjan, Mark-jan says planting up until December. That's normally not happening, is it?
No, that's true. Normally we finish end of October, first week of November. I remember me last year, it was half of October, it was very dry, the first rain was coming, and we think, this is very good for the fields. But so Mark-jan also said, it's not stopping till end of April. That means we have to take our moments to plant the tulips. But originally, when you plant tulips very late, it costs also a little bit of the production.
Yeah.
Is on this moment, a little bit bad, and they also not give new children. That means for the production from next year, I'm a little bit afraid that we have a little bit less hectares than we was planting last year.
Okay. In terms of production, you plant a small bulb and then you get a bigger bulb that you can use for forcing tulips, right?
Yes, that's what we do, how we work.
Okay. So there are different sizes. So there's normally you do size 10 to 12 you are forcing, and you plant the smaller size, right?
Yes, we plant size 4 till 10 normally, and then they grow around 3, 4 sizes each bulb. But we see last year we not have enough bulbs, and we used also size 9 for flower production.
Yeah.
With this, we take a risk that we have full production with it.
Okay. Size 9, Wim, you are selling a lot to retails. Size 9 gives a smaller flower as well, right?
Yes. Normally we said we try to make tulips from 22, 24 grams.
Yeah.
We see that the last years the grams are falling down, and bulb size 9 gives normally 18 grams tulips.
Okay. So
And
that's not enough.
when you have 15 or 20 tulips, it will be a bunch. But when it will be 7 tulips of 18 grams, I think that the customer doesn't have a very happy flower on the table.
Yeah. So, Mark-jan, I think you have the best overview of what's happening now with all the bulbs coming in. Are the sizes not big enough, or is it the total quantities? What's happening?
Yeah, it's a combination of all. As already said, that you see that people are using smaller size to compensate the lack of quantity. But that of course means lesser weight. So it's going to be a game of planning. What are you going to use where? With the risk, of course, enforcing that if you go to small bulbs, that you won't get the flower at all. So it's a delicate game in getting the right quantities of the right products prepared for the right planning to be able to supply the cut flower customers. So
Yeah.
that's now going in full speed. Getting the bulbs prepared, making the schedules, and making sure that for the growing for the bulb forcing industry, there will be enough bulbs at the right time. And there might be some complications there to see can we start at the same date as always, can we end at the same date, so there will be some impact. And we're now seeing we're getting to the point that we can get a clear picture on how the total will be for coming season.
Yeah. Arjan, you before we started this talk, you said, okay, there's really going to be less tulips. Can you give me an estimation? I mean, you are growing them yourself.
Yeah, for now we will see, and I check of course also my own company with my colleagues. We see around 25% less bulbs what we have for forcing for the flower season.
Yeah.
That not means in the high season we have so much tulips less. The biggest issue is, I think, a little bit on the front of the season and at the end of the season, that the growers totally say maybe 1 week earlier to stop. And we hope we have enough bulbs for Women's Day, Valentine, Easter, the special days. But also there we have less fields.
Yeah. So when that means that we're talking about 25%, which is a big number.
Yes.
But as I understand, if we take a bit from the beginning of the season, so the really early tulips and the later one, and just get it together, it doesn't mean that there's 25% less bulbs in high season, or less flowers in high season.
Yeah, but there will be less flowers in the season because we have a lot of small bulb growers who sell all the bulbs to the export
Yeah.
for extremely prices. So we see in the growing field a lot of small growers don't producing anything. So I think in the season we will talking about 10-15% less. We see that the prices are at the moment 50% higher in the selling before for the contracts.
That's about flowers, right?
The flowers, yes. And I think that when every retailer takes his normal volume, we have to short. And I think that there will be a situation that a few retailers don't have any tubes at the moment in the pre-saling.
Yeah.
So I think that they don't have tulips in the shop. Yeah, that's not a good position for the tulip, I believe. I think that every grower of every sales point has to sold tulips, and when they are sold out at 12 o'clock, then the customer has the opportunity to buy some tulips.
Yeah.
But don't put no tulips in the shop. It isn't good for us.
No, but I can imagine if you go to a supermarket and say our product is 50% more expensive, if it happens with cakes or milk or whatever, toilet paper in the supermarket, and they say we're going to go up with 10%, they say we stop selling you for a month and let's see what you come back with, and then they negotiate again. But I've got the feeling there's no room for negotiation with tulips as the bulb prices went up so much.
Yeah, I think we have do the business for 25 years for too less money. When you see the cost by the growers are extremely 10% each year,
Yeah.
and we didn't get it from the retailer till now, and now we have to do to make this jump.
Yeah.
And yeah, they have to put the sale prices 50% higher. I think that it's still the cheapest bunch of flowers in the shop.
It
Yes,
is.
I agree with Win. For us, it was meaningless last 10, 15 years. We have to find our money in our production to try to make it cheaper, more automatization, computers and everything. But also there we have an end, and this end is also
Is
now
now.
on this moment, and it comes together, yeah, with bad harvest season of the bulb.
Yeah.
That we have to do to push up our price.
Yeah. Mark-jan,
Yes.
Winfried.
What you see is the different steps in the chain, grower trade and forcing sales, also into garden and landscaping. You see that the hike in prices now changes the whole dynamics in where does the product go. If you see that the number of bulbs and then the prices, so you always have the P times Q, so turnover is now being shuffled in such a way that the turnover doesn't necessarily take a dive like the availability in end product does. So it's still a profitable business, luckily, at least for on average. Of course, there is extremes on both sides, but in general, it is a reshuffle in the market, and we see now price levels that we didn't expect to be possible. So maybe that is also something for the future to see how we can keep those prices a little bit in the market, so that there is some profit to be divided between all the participants in the market, and that will be something to look for.
Yeah, I mean, like Win already said, we waited for 15 years to go up with the prices while the cost went up. And also an interesting fact that Wim told, and I think I need to explain it a little bit. A lot of bulb growers are also forcing tulips, and now those bulb growers are selling their bulbs and will not produce or force those flowers themselves. They are just putting them into the export. Is that something what is normal, or is it more because of the current situation?
Yeah, we hear the same from our members that yes, there are products being offered who would normally be used to force here in the Netherlands, and those bulbs can be exported to other markets where maybe somebody else uses those same bulbs to force in destination country, because different countries have different outlets and market reality. So sometimes somewhere in the world there is somebody who is able to sell flowers at that price, and the dynamics is such that they will be supplied with, and that is a change in how the product flow goes. So it's a resetting of the whole map. I think the biggest lesson from this year is that how things were last year, this year is different, and we don't know how next year will be. But the shuffle that we are doing this year is major. So there's a lot of effort going into that.
Yeah, and we're on a new terrain, and where everything is new, and then can mean some bad things, but also some good things, shuffling things up. Arjan, question about there are a lot of tulip varieties. It's a difficult season. Can you see that some varieties performed better, although it was bad weather, than other varieties? Or can you just say all varieties underperformed because of the bad weather?
A little bit difficult to say this. It's also independent of soil, planting time, how they grow, how you can dry the bulbs after harvesting. But in general, and hold the line, we see too much sickness and too much less bulbs. There is in my company not one variety who surprised me that he's growing well like 10 years before.
Okay.
We see it in general in hold the line.
Yeah. And everybody talks about spreading the risks. We are in Holland, we are famous for growing the bulbs. We've got our bulb districts where millions of people come and see the beautiful fields. Why aren't we growing in Germany, Belgium, France, Denmark? I don't know, somewhere, maybe Poland even. Why aren't we spreading the risks, Arjan?
To spreading the risk, that's first by location. Some risk, some region have more water, less water. Ice rain, I'm not exactly to make damage to your fields. But also we're planting in France, because there the springtime is 1 month earlier. That means we can start our production also 1 month earlier with like the tulips we produce in the Netherlands. Denmark, Poland, it's coming up a little bit, these regions. People try to do this, but the climate changed. It's also possible that after some years in Denmark you can grow on a good way tulips. But it depends on the climate, how it gets. Some year it's good, some year it's bad. For my company, I grow all the time, many years in the region of Bordeaux, France. Years before, it was my most bad place. And last year, there it was the most fantastic place. Now I have all my production there, but I stay again in the Netherlands, and the Netherlands was the best place. Since 35 years, I produce tulip bulbs.
Yeah, and I hear that it's even further away. So France was just for getting it earlier, but maybe now it's also an option to spread the risks more of the influences, isn't it?
Yeah, better to do every year the same. To run after the market 1 year later is in general not good. It brings you nothing.
Yeah, everybody tries to do it.
Yes.
Is it something you see, Mark-jan, that some of the growers try to switch or try to spread their risk? I mean, everybody's talking about climate change. It's getting warmer, so is maybe Denmark an option, or is it a problem with the soil that can be? I mean, we're not growing tulips everywhere in Holland.
No, but you see that the growers spread their risk within Holland, in the south in Zeeland, or in the north in Friesland. Different soils, different climates, different risk. But one thing to keep in mind is, especially for our members, the bulbs go worldwide. In tulips, maybe not so much as in lilies, but export is part of the game. And if you want to develop a new country and export from there, you also have to set up the phytosanitarian agreements with the countries outside of Europe, including the United Kingdom. So to set that up, not so easy. So Holland does have this phytosanitarian agreements with most of the countries where the bulbs go to. So that makes it not so easy to switch from Holland to Germany or Denmark. You could do production there for sales of bulbs and flowers in the EU.
Yeah.
Of course, limits your possibilities, especially in a season like this.
Yeah. So there are possibilities, but yeah, let's hope this season is a one-off and that it.
It's little gray hair still there, but man, we've been busy. Yeah.
I can imagine, and we're still in the process, or you are still in the process, I think.
Yes, the shipments are being shipped at the moment, so we still have a few weeks to go, and then most of them will have found a destination. But yes, it has been extremely busy, and also with changes in plans and schedules, which make it very complicated for all the companies involved.
Yeah, I think it's very difficult now for growers to make a schedule with 5 colors, for example, for the retail, not having the right figures, and it's going to be a puzzle, I think, also for you, Win.
It's a puzzle. I think the lights off. We're gonna manage it, but I prefer 5 good colors. Most people want 7 or 8 colors. We say we try to do that, but
Yeah,
when we have bulb size 9 in that moment with that color and it's not the fine quality in the totally mix, we say we prefer to do 4 or 5 colors at the moment.
yeah,
We see also that the customer, normally we say 60-70% were yellow, red, yellow, and 30% white, pink, purple. And we see now that the market is coming more to the soft colors. So I think that the market will be in balance when we say about 40-45 cold colors and the rest of it warm colors.
yeah,
But yeah, it's changing. Yeah.
yeah.
But
Is
but yeah, we make a lot of schedules at the moment and making the plan every day from another side.
Yeah, and how are the supermarkets? How are they reacting on the price increase? Do they understand? Do they want to understand? Or
When we say some prices in the end of June, they say, "Are you mad?" Um, in the bulb season, everything happens. The bulb prices will be at the moment. The bulb prices are the flower prices in some varieties. And
wow,
now I see the last 3 weeks that they have looked at the sale prices and the orders are dropping to us at the moment.
okay, and that's later than normal, or that's the same, or
Normally, September is the biggest month to make the deals.
yeah,
I think that in the end of the month, everything will have be ordered.
okay. Well, that's good to hear that at least it's running and that they accept it.
Yeah.
Uh, so that's really good. Mark-jan, how are the growers or the clients in abroad? How are they reacting?
Yeah, there you have more or less the same difficulty in the prices, but and there was also a reason that 2 weeks ago we made a publication in the local press here, which was also spread internationally. There are some difficulties in talking to customers to get prices up because, of course, if the first supplier comes to tell that there won't be any product and it will be a lot more expensive, then the first idea that the customers have is, yeah, you're trying to trick me, so let me call somebody else.
Yeah,
But by now, I think most companies have found out that yes, this is reality. And if they've watched the weather a little bit, then they understand also. So it has changed in finding the spot. Up to what price can I buy the bulbs, and how does this fall with our customers? Because usually there's another link in the chain behind the customers of our members. Somebody who's forcing the bulbs in, for instance, the United States. They will be talking to a local retailer in the States for the sales of their flowers.
yeah,
But by now, what I hear is that yes, there are some companies who have to make substitutions, which will cost them money. Yes, that is happening. But there's also an increase in the prices abroad. So therefore, you see that the market is adapting to the reality.
yeah. There's no choice.
That's with products that become scarce, and if they are nature based, then yeah, sometimes it just happens.
Yeah, I mean there are a lot of other flowers, roses, chrysanthemums, where the cost price of the cutting is every year the same or goes up by a couple percent. But with tulips, as I understand, the price of the bulbs can vary every year. It's just
Yes, they can, and but still, people have experiences and they know how to work that, and it is of course one of the most beautiful products, especially in early spring, to have in the shop. So there's a lot of tulip lovers in the world, luckily, and I still think it's a lot better to explain about rain, hail, and what happens in a field rather than cost of air freight and that diesel prices affects the price of flowers. I mean, that's not a story people want to hear or understand.
Yeah.
In the case, it is nature, and that we bring nature to the people and makes people happy. So I think there's a fair price to pay for that.
Yeah, there is. Arjan, I mean, we're talking about climate change. This was an extreme year. Hopefully, next year it's going to be more of a normal year. Is there something you can do? I mean, the bulbs are grown outside. It's not an option to do it inside because then we need a lot of glass houses. There's not enough glass, I think, available. uh, is there something you can do about it?
Yeah, we do regular every year. We check our fields. How is it with drainage from the fields? But now on this moment, I see that people start to renew drainage from the water systems much more earlier
Yeah,
to do what they can. But by a record of rain falling, it's impossible. It's not. It was not 1 week dry. The water not was get away. But for now, I did the same this morning. Also, I was check my fields. Last days it was raining also enough here in the Netherlands. Directly, I get to my fields to see are there bad spots in the field. Then now we can do something with extra drainage.
yeah,
Check your field, and that's what we can do. For the rest is what God gives.
yeah. So you're checking the fields where you're soon gonna plant the young bulb or the small bulbs for even next, not this season, but next season.
Yes, that's true.
Okay, so it's
That's what you can do to find good soil, and also every variety needs a little bit different soil, more heavy soil, more sand soil. Um, they feel more happy on some soil to growing well.
yeah. So even Holland is a small country. We have a lot of different types of soil, which can
Yes.
and a lot of different climates as well. So it's an interesting country, and it's good that we have such a great industry with the bulbs. Uh, will this extreme season also affect next season in terms of your planting material?
Yes, yes, that's really terrible. What we see now, in general, I think make a schedule that we planting around 20-25% less bulbs than last year.
Yeah,
Dus that means we hope next year we have a good harvest season and growing season. I hope we make the goal from to not have more or less than this year by bulbs. Continue by this, and from this maybe we have a little bit more and growing well.
okay. So that's it's not only going to affect this season; it's going to affect.
It's effect. This is effect for minimum 3 years to have the same result like 2 years ago.
Okay, so it's quite a big setback.
Yes, yes, a big reset in hectares also. Yeah, on this moment I heard a little bit and accounting a little bit 1,500 hectare less planting than last year.
So there's more space for the cows next year.
Yeah, enough. Yeah, yeah.
Wow. Mark-jan, we talked about flowers, obviously, but also we've got the parks, the dry sales for the people at home. That's obviously going to be affected as well. How
Yes.
does it look like at the moment?
No, we do see, but luckily, there we see also that companies have been talking to their customers about changing the mix in the bags, especially for wholesale and supermarket and garden center sales. So that maybe where originally they were planning to put 5 tulip bulbs in a package combined with other bulbs from different varieties, that they've been able to reduce them in such a way that they had a bit more room to play with. So they have been doing that, and there will be bulbs available in the stores for planting. So that part is mostly covered. Of course, there will be some that will be short, but in general, there has been efforts enough to cover the market there.
Okay. So are they also replacing, for example, with daffodils or other bulb products, or do they have the same, that there's not enough, or do they have a better season than the tulips?
Well, there are some that have the same difficulty, but there's luckily also a few that are available, and therefore we're able to be exchanged in the mix. So it's still as difficult with the tulips, but there's a bit more room to wiggle in, and that has been happening. That means that last minute sometimes they have to change the capers on the bags.
Yeah.
That has been done, and they're being shipped out at the moment.
Yeah, we're getting creative in times like this.
Yeah, you have to be.
Yeah, that's good. I mean, the Dutch are always creative, so we will get our way through it. Wim, I got a question about. We talked about retail. What about the normal flower shops? Will the retail buy everything and think, okay, we have all the tulips. So when when they need tulips, they come to us, or
I think that there will be a lot less tulips for the shops for the great market. But I think there will be enough for the market from week 3 till the Eastern.
okay. So it's
A
gonna
little
be
bit less, but enough, and only the quality will be. Yeah, it's very different to say it's about everything is 30 grams. I think that will be. Yeah, we have to do it with a few grams less.
yeah. Okay, but that doesn't mean the face life isn't bad or whatever. It's just a little bit lighter tulip.
Yeah, for instance.
Yeah. And do we really think the consumer sees if it's 28 or 30 grams?
No, I don't think they see that. I see that the grams will be not a problem. I see the last years the head tips
Yeah.
of the leaves when they are brown. It's a bigger problem than 2 grams.
Okay. And you're talking about the tips of the flower leaves.
Yeah.
Uh, why is that happening? Has it something to do with the bulbs, or is it later on when you're forcing the tulips?
No, it's at the moment of planting by hand.
Yeah.
Now we see a lot of automatization by planting by robot. I think the quality of the leaves will be better. We see that the last 2 years and I hope that we can do some good things in the preparation, because that's the yeah where it's happened yeah where it starts.
Yeah, I mean, and that's what's happening now. You're making the schedules. The bulbs are there; they are counted. So now you make the schedule and you start the preparation of the artificial winter to
Yeah.
grow and or to force the tulips and have them ready in the time you want.
Yeah, and I think that the growers are putting more time to make a good schedule, and the preparation is very important this year. Also, we didn't have a lot of sun in June, so
Yeah.
we have to do something in the summer with the heat and everything. What I see, everything have done that.
Okay. Well, that's a good thing. You need to. If you don't have enough bulbs, you need to take care of the ones that you have.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. Arjan, with the Tulip Promotion Holland, you always have a couple of big days in Amsterdam in the center.
Yes.
Is that going to happen? Is it going to be smaller, or isn't it going to be affected at all?
Now we try to make this on the same way, same pieces by tulips, same big. Our promotion day, no, we not touch this.
Okay. Oh,
It's famous overall in the world, and we are very proud on this event. And we will not take one thing from this.
oh, that's
It's not possible.
no, that's really good to hear. I mean, it's such a fantastic event in January, the official opening of the tulip season.
Yes, yeah, it's great, amazing. It's awake all the world about tulips. Yeah, from this moment we can buy everywhere, and believe me, all the growers do their best yeah, to bring so much as possible tulips in the market on the best good conditions.
Yeah,
Yes,
that's. I think that's accounted for everybody. Also, the export companies, Mark-jan, they are doing everything, taking care that the bulbs that they have, that they will arrive in the best shape, and that they can be grown in in the best way as well. Um, so just getting things right. Yes, there are less tulips, a lot less tulip bulbs, but it doesn't mean it's going to be a big shock during the season, the tulip season, because we're going to make it a little bit shorter. Yes, probably some will feel that there's less tulips, but it's not like I'm going to the local supermarket and I cannot find any tulips, and the next supermarkets there will not be tulips as well.
Yeah, I think that summarizes it, and maybe good to know that our members also make sure that there are promotions in for instance, the US, where we have two tulip days, one in San Francisco and one last year we started in New York City, and those are also a show of how the tulip can change the look of a city. With all the people walking around with the tulips that they were able to pick themselves, to really give the season a push. So that also on our side we're continuing that effort, and we hope that things will normalize in a couple of years with the numbers, and our companies are doing the best, of course, to our members to get the markets the product that they want and need. This year difficult. Everybody's doing its utmost best to supply. Not every customer will be able to receive all that they've ordered, but it is still enough to have enough presence in the market when the season comes.
Yeah. So we can. I mean, it's not only the bunch of flowers of the bunch of tulips; it's the whole feeling, the spring feeling. You bring the spring into your home, happy faces. So yeah, Wim, you're gonna do that as well, of course, sending out millions of tulips coming winter.
Yeah.
So looking forward to it. Anything you want to add, Wim?
I think that we have to let's show the world that the tulips make everybody happy in the spring. And we have tulips. We don't have to say we don't have enough. I think that when we normally the retailers puts about 8 or 10% waste on his shelf, and it will be now 1 or 2%. Then we can make 10% more people happy with tulips,
Yeah.
and it's also good for everybody. Then we produce and selling and consuming. That will be great.
Yeah. Okay. Arjan, something you want to add?
what I said before, we do our best to make the most beautiful tulips for everyone at home and in shops, and make people happy, share happiness with our beautiful product.
Yeah. Great. Great to hear. Mark-jan, something you want to add?
No, I think everything has been said, and yeah, we'll be slowly starting to look forward to the winter season again, and already starting to prepare for next year.
Oh, sorry, I'm getting emotional.
Oh, yeah.
Really?
That is also.
No, thank you so much for explaining everything. I mean, it's great to hear. It's not good to hear what happened, but it's great to hear that everybody is doing their utmost to make it a great tulip season. So thank you for joining and explaining it. And if there are more questions, let me know. And I really get emotional.
I can understand this.
Yeah. Yeah, like
There's nothing about what we talk.
it's not only the tulip itself that you sell; it's the emotion, and then that's worth so much more. And I think, Wim, you said it in the beginning. We struggled to go up with prices, and now we are forced to do it. Let's hope we can keep that level as well to finally make some money, make some new investments as well in the processes. Also, in terms of sustainability, we need to have some money as well to be more and more sustainable. Although I think the tulip is already one of the most sustainable grown flowers out there. So thank you very much.
You're welcome.